this is James White, and I supervise restoration and remastering for Arrow Video. When we create new masters for older films, we rely on the highest quality materials we can find, the original negative often being the best. Now, a negative is ungraded, meaning the film appears as it was shot, with no lab work applied to correct for color timing, contrast, highlights, as well as general consistency from shot to shot. What this means is that grading from a negative is much more time-consuming and labor-intensive, as you're essentially grading from scratch. There are no inherent lab timings printed into the material to assist you. Hopefully you have reference materials such as an original print to work from, but you're still applying new settings for virtually every shot in the film. Given the issues that arise when dealing with original negative, it's often easier to grade from an intermediary element, such as fine grain, interpositive, or internegative, bearing in mind that each of these elements represents a further loss of generation from that original negative. Grading from these is pretty straightforward. You could scan or transfer your film and set up your grading system at a decent overall starting point, and then tweak each scene to improve the grade on a shot-by-shot basis, and improve overall consistency. But the basic groundwork is already done, having been timed into your material by the lab. The finest element known to exist for Pit Stop was Jack Hill's own 35mm answer print, which was made directly from the negative. In other words, only one step or generation in the lab printing or processing chain. But although it was the best quality element, like the negative, it had undergone no lab timing and required a full grading from scratch. As you can see, an ungraded element appears very flat overall, without the necessary adjustments to account for proper contrast, highlights, detail, and consistency. Some shots look sorely out of place against others, and key sequences, such as these nighttime stock car races, frequently look washed out and gray. It was important for us to involve Jack Hill in this process, and he kindly lent his time to supervise the grading here in London, accurately replicating the intended look of the film. As with all our projects, we were mindful to grade carefully and keep things true to their source. There hasn't been any excessive digital tinkering, and Pit Stop still looks very much like an independent film from 1969. Along with the grading, we did some restoration work on both the image and soundtrack as well, but these things have been done with the utmost restraint, as we wanted to be careful not to make things look and sound too polished and for the film to maintain its original drive-in feel throughout. After grading was completed, the image first underwent a light cleanup pass to remove small instances of dirt, dust, and scratches. Then a manual cleanup effort was undertaken, using MTI restoration software, improving stabilization and removing larger pieces of debris and film blemishes. Throughout this whole process, care was taken to ensure that any restoration applied did not result in the creation of digital artifacts or any similar degradations to the original image. It was not possible to remove every trace of age and damage that Pit Stop had acquired through the decades, but the film now looks and sounds better than it has in many years. We're very happy with our presentation of Pit Stop. It may not be Jack Hill's most well-known film, but we feel it's certainly among his best. Hopefully, with the work we've done, in close collaboration with Jack, many will discover Pit Stop and give it its proper due.